So in this video, I'll share with you what it's like going from a 9 to 5 to making your first 10K a month online. And this is the exact plan that I would have shared with my younger self to get a whole lot richer, a whole lot faster. So a few years ago, I was on my way to work. I did what most people did when they came out of college, go into a standard, 9 to 5 corporate job. Now this corporate job was fine, paid the bills, it covered any fixed costs, didn't have a whole lot of money left over to buy fancy cars or houses or anything like that. And that was a real kind of problem for me. I always wanted to make more money outside of my 9 to 5 job, but I couldn't really figure out a way or a means to. Now, I used to read books, I used to even attend seminars, but I could never really get any momentum with my kind of side business or side hustle. A few years prior to that, actually, when I was in college, I jumped in and did the startup thing full time, but that actually failed miserably. It didn't go on to become much of anything. And actually, we re-entered, went back into the workforce. And that kind of stuck with me for a while. I ruminated about that startup and what went wrong, what I could have done better to achieve success and scale up the business and scale up operations and grow a team. But that never really happened for me. So there I was back in the corporate working world on the tram to work like everybody else. But I still wanted to figure out how to make money outside of a 9 to 5 role, which I didn't really figure out all along. So there, while I was traveling on the tram, I got a notification on my phone, the shitty beat up Samsung phone, because I didn't have a whole lot of money at the time. I was paying a hell of a lot of money for rent, and I didn't have a whole lot of money that I was making from my 9 to 5 corporate. So I checked out this notification. I don't know, it was some ski trip with me and my buddies or something. While I checked out this notification, I saw this ad online for this online business coaching program. So there was this guy who's made a ton of money online, who now shows other people how to do what he did and make money online also using his kind of strategies and mechanisms. So these notifications come up all the time. I was super skeptical about all of these online gurus, but there was something about him, some authenticity about the whole thing that kind of allured me to his whole brand and business and approach. So the bell rang on the tram and my stop came up. So I saved the post for later. Got off the tram, went to work for the day. But as soon as I finished work and I scurried home, he had some some video presentation that he made that I was going to watch later. It was super long. I consumed the whole thing when I came home. And at the end, he pitched his program. His program was, I don't know, $2,000, and there was a $500 discount. $2,000 was a hell of a lot of money for me at the time. So I was, pacing up and down the corridors like at my apartment, mulling over whether I was going to buy this program or not. It seemed like an exorbitant amount of money. It was almost like probably all my wages at the time when I was working this job out of college. But ultimately, I bit the bullet and I bought that program. So I was used to only ever spending maybe, I don't know, $20 or $30 online through Amazon. And all of a sudden I made this massive jump to spending $1,500. So it was a lot of money for me at the time. But I'm super glad I did buy into that program, because within the first month, I got my first paying client for a brand new online business that I started from scratch. And actually later that year, I went on to hit my first $10,000 per month online through that said business. So the ROI of buying into that was, immense. Now, after buying this program, I was massively wound up, okay? I was determined to make this work. I had to actually recoup the money I invested in this program. So I valued it a hell of a lot. So I implemented absolutely everything. There was like 40 modules. Some of them were really long, like an hour long. I executed absolutely everything in the program, everything from creating a brand new offer from scratch and running your ads, all this stuff within this program I never knew before. I never knew how to run ads. I never knew how to actually close a client, but all this knowledge and all these skills I accumulated. So this program was transformative for me. I was stuck in a rut for years trying to figure out how to get going in business, how to start making money online. And I bought this program, implemented everything, executed everything, and ultimately got results. So within probably the first 30 to 60 days, I got my first paying client for my business. And within about a year later, I hit my first 10K a month online through selling a combination of online services and also an online program package. So this whole experience made me learn 4 important lessons which I'd share to my younger self if I was starting out again. And this would have helped me make my first 10K a month online if I was working a 9-to-5 job so much faster. Number one, seek out the best mentors. So a lot of people have goals and ambitions, whether it's for, fitness, whether it's for relationships, whether it's in businesses, financial health, whichever. But what happens to people as they're on the path to these goals is that they encounter some sort of problem. So there's some sort of like knowledge gap, or there's some sort of skills gap, or they don't really know the roadmap or the path forward. A lot like myself when I was first starting out. So for example, if you want to lose 10 pounds, you mightn't necessarily have the processes or the education around that to achieve that desired outcome. And what a lot of people do, and why people go wrong, and why people never achieve their goals, is that they try to create their own solution to solve this problem. But the problem with that is that they're the people without the knowledge and the skills and experience that are designing that solution, and that solution may not be necessarily the right roadmap or path to help them achieve that goal. So what I recommend to everyone if they're trying to achieve a goal is to seek out the best mentors. And what I mean by the best mentors is the people who have already solved the problem that you're trying to solve already to achieve the goal that you're trying to achieve. They're the best people to design the solution to help you overcome the problem that you're experiencing on the path to achieving your goal. And it's not enough in and of itself to have the solution to that problem, but you also need to take massive action with that newly designed solution to help you achieve that goal. And of course, you're going to have problems arise, blockers, little hurdles that you encounter along the way. But a good mentor will be there by your side, working with you one-to-one to handle any issues, any problems that you encounter along the way, and they will steer you along the right path. So that's the first thing, seek out expert mentors. Now, if you're trying to start up a business online or trying to make some money on the side outside of your 9-to-5 corporate, we have a whole coaching program around that. Basically, I work with people one-to-one. I kind of design a little bit of an action plan for them and kind of hold their hand until they get the first few customers and hit their first 10K a month. If that's something that's interested to you, there's a link below this video. You can book in a time to speak with me. We'll figure out what's going on right now, where you're at, what your goals are, and ultimately we can design a plan to see if we're a good fit to work together on that to get you to where you want to go. If not, that's perfectly cool also. The second thing is about taking massive action. So most people, I would say 95% of the population are consumers. What I mean by that is they consume, TV, they consume YouTube videos, they consume books. But in order to be a successful entrepreneur and to start making money online and to start delivering value to the marketplace that people will exchange money for, you have to start getting into a production mindset. So instead of consuming, you have to produce services, produce goods, produce content, create ads, etc. That's a production mindset. And a production mindset is conducive to making money and entrepreneurship. In the past, I actually thought reading was conducive to being a successful entrepreneur, but then I realized some entrepreneurs, like even Alex Hormozi, who's made hundreds of millions, said he never actually read any books when he was starting out in business. Instead, he was taking massive action to grow that business and build up that business. So reading in and of itself, it might fill your head with lots of knowledge. Ultimately, it's not the thing that's going to make your business succeed. You taking massive action in the right direction to achieve your goals is what's going to allow you to achieve that success. The third thing is to embrace failure. So as you're on the path to making your first 10K a month online, there's going to be a lot of roadblocks and blockers that you're going to experience along the way. Success is about links on a chain. So you need all the links on a chain in order to achieve that goal. So for example, if you're trying to make your first 10K a month online, if you're trying to make money online, these skills that you need and the knowledge that you need is going to be, creating a valuable product that people want to buy, creating a good offer, having the ability to market your product to make people interested in what you have to offer, having sales ability to actually turn an interested customer into a paying client. So these are several skills that you need in order to achieve that goal. So ultimately, when you're trying to develop these skills, you're going to experience failure along the way. So it's important to actually embrace that failure and keep learning and keep moving forward in order to achieve that goal. I'll give you a little bit of an analogy. So years ago, I was skiing with my friends. I never skied before. They all skied before. Some of them were quite experienced. Now in skiing, what you have is like green slopes, blue slopes, red slopes, black slopes. Black slopes being the most severe ones where they're for, let's say, the advanced intermediate people. Then you have like green slopes, which are for beginners, and blue slopes, which are kind of intermediate. Now, when I was skiing with those guys, I never actually knew what all these different slopes were, okay? I was a beginner learning to ski from scratch. So by right, if I was talking to an instructor, they probably would have had me on the green slopes to kind of get started. But with my mates, they just went skiing, didn't really have too much regard for my probably competency or safety on the slopes. So we went straight on to the intermediate blue slopes. Now I fell a bunch of times, pretty badly in some circumstances, but I actually learned to ski a whole lot faster by actually falling over, getting some tuition, and moving forward. So I guess the lesson I have is that you're going to stumble, you're going to fall over, but the important thing is to keep getting back up, embracing that failure, and keep moving forward. Every massively successful entrepreneur, from Elon Musk to Jeff Bezos to any entrepreneur that you can name, has encountered massive failure during their entrepreneurship path, but they've embraced that failure along the way, they've learned from it, and they kept moving forward. So keep moving forward, embrace failure. And then the last thing I would say is avoid living in the future. So you have goals, aspirations of making, 10K, 100K, building this massive business. But what that living in the future is going to do for you is going to induce a lot of anxiety. It's important to enjoy the journey along the way. You're going to encounter a lot of failure. You're going to encounter a lot of roadblocks. So it's important to not let that to overwhelm you completely. Enjoy time with friends, family, enjoy your hobbies, and enjoy the journey along the way, and it will make life more enjoyable, a lot sweeter, and just the journey will be a lot better as well. So they're the lessons I've learned from working a 9-to-5 job to making my first 10K month online. Now, if you're working a 9-to-5 and you're looking to start up your own thing or make some money online on the side, I have a quick announcement that we have a few spots open for the one-to-one consult with me and my team for our Growth Accelerator program. And who we work with is aspiring entrepreneurs and also people working 9-to-5 jobs who are trying to get going, start making their first, get their first clients, start making some money online. So if that's of interest to you, click the link below and book in a time to speak with me. Thanks so much for watching. I look forward to speaking with you.